In the winter of 1095, in the town of Clermont, Pope Urban II stood before a crowd. He spoke of a holy mission, a call to free Jerusalem from Muslim control. He promised forgiveness of sins, eternal glory, and the chance to serve God through battle. The word spread like fire across Europe. Nobles, knights, and even peasants felt chosen for a divine task. This was not just a war, it was salvation. The First Crusade had begun. Before the armies of kings were ready, waves of peasants marched east. They carried wooden crosses, rusty weapons, and unshakable faith. Men, women, and children believed God would protect them. But faith was not enough. In Hungary and Anatolia, they met disaster. Thousands were slaughtered before reaching the Holy Land. The so-called People's Crusade ended in tragedy, a warning of the challenges ahead. 3 years later, the Knights of Europe reached Jerusalem. Exhausted, starving, but unstoppable. They laid siege to the city, building towers and scaling walls under a burning sun. When the walls fell, chaos erupted. Muslims, Jews, and even Christians inside the city were massacred. Blood filled the holy streets. In victory, the Crusaders established the Kingdom of Jerusalem. A fragile kingdom, surrounded by enemies. The Crusaders carved out states, in Antioch, Edessa, and Tripoli. But survival was not easy. They were few in number, far from Europe, and divided among themselves. Muslim leaders grew stronger, rallying armies to push them back. The Second Crusade was launched, but ended in failure. It was clear, the Holy Land would not remain in Christian hands without constant struggle. In the summer heat of 1187, the Crusader army marched toward Tiberias. Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, trapped them near the horns of Hattin. Dehydrated, surrounded, the Crusaders collapsed under the blazing sun. The true cross, their sacred relic, was captured. Knights of the Templar and Hospitaller orders were executed. Jerusalem soon surrendered to Saladin. It was the greatest disaster the Crusaders had ever known. Europe answered with kings. Richard the Lionheart of England, Philip of France, and Frederick Barbarossa of the Holy Roman Empire. Their armies were vast, their banners mighty. But Barbarossa drowned before reaching the Holy Land. Philip returned to France, leaving Richard alone to face Saladin. At Acre, Richard fought with unmatched skill. At Arsuf, he defeated Saladin's cavalry. Yet despite victories, Jerusalem remained out of reach. Richard and Saladin agreed to a truce. Pilgrims could enter the Holy City, but it stayed in Muslim hands. By the Fourth Crusade, the dream of Jerusalem was corrupted. Instead of marching east, the Crusaders attacked fellow Christians. They turned their weapons against Constantinople, the jewel of Byzantium. The city was stormed, its treasures looted, its churches burned. Icons shattered, relics stolen, women violated. It was not a holy war, but a betrayal. East and West, once united, were now forever divided. For another century, Crusader strongholds clung to the coast of the Levant. But one by one, they fell. By 1291, only Acre remained. Muslim forces stormed the walls with fire and steel. The defenders fought desperately, but were overwhelmed. The last Crusader kingdom collapsed. Survivors fled to Cyprus, carrying memories of a lost dream. The Crusades in the Holy Land had come to an end, leaving behind centuries of blood, faith, and broken empires.